Hello, this is Seb, and we're broadcasting live. We're taking a look at some app reviews for the Trello Android application. As always, this is a how-to on analyzing reviews and user feedback and how to take in a lot of positive and negative feedback and build out impactful feature requests and bug reports based off of this feedback. And there's a lot of great tools out there for looking at feedback and organizing it. I'm using a homemade tool, but there's a lot of great ones out there. If you're a product manager or engineering manager, I'm sure you're familiar with a lot of them. But the process is what I'm most interested in. How does a product manager or engineering manager go through and read all of this feedback into thinking about how to make their users happy and hopefully turn those one-star reviews that you see, hopefully not too often, but turn those into 5-star reviews. So we'll get started. This is going to be about 23 minutes, this live stream, and we'll go from there. So we're looking at this review from Juan Lopez. It was 4 stars for the Trello Android review application. And Juan says, great collaboration platform. Are Butler actions going to be added to mobile? Shame it seems to be only available on the desktop site. And we know about actions and extensions. So I'm going to pop open the Trello application over here. If you don't use the, you'll notice this thing called Powerups over here. And these are additional functionality that Trello users can use. I'm not in no way affiliated with Trello. I just enjoy using the application, so I know it pretty well. And not all Powerups are available. I believe many were removed in the past couple months. I assume the development burden was probably pretty high for Trello team to support all those, and maybe not many people were using them. So it's still going to come up as a feature request. We'll want to keep track of these requests as a product manager because we want to think about, is there enough requests to justify bringing back some of the Powerups, all the Powerups, and even though there's a specific segment of the population that uses them within the app, maybe the impact could be high enough to justify what I would assume would be a higher effort from the Android team to support those. And so we're going to highlight all this. Need my external mouse. And we're going to go label this as I think Powerups. We have a Powerup. We're getting quite a few labels now that we've went through a couple hundred, or I think 150 reviews at this point. But let's label this Powerups. So I'll go in here. And again, this is my own tagging system. There's a lot of great solutions out there. This just happens to be one that I liked and built myself. So we'll also go into our backend, which you can't see. Maybe one day I'll stream the backend live as well. And we're going to add the number of stars that we lost for this review. So this user left 4 stars, and so we lost 1 star related to Powerups. So if you haven't seen one of these streams before, I think you get a sense of what we're going to do, and we'll soldier on and go to the next review. So this is from Paul Teal, a 1-star rating. Oh man, Paul really wants dark mode. So we'll help Paul out. Paul's a pretty squeaky wheel. Hopefully we give him some dark mode grease so he's not so squeaky. But yeah, Paul gave us a 1-star. So we're going to go in. I'm going to go to the back end and say that we lost 4 stars with no dark mode for Paul. So I'll just show that at the bottom here. I probably won't refresh every time I updated that on the back end for you guys because I'm pretty fast updating that on the back end. I should add this to the front end, to update this right here, but not doing that for now. Making UIs is hard. I have to be very careful in terms of my own feature requests. And so this user loves the Trello application. It's a pretty good review. They said the best application ever, organization app, but we've seen even better 5 stars. This could be a powerful 5-star from Melanie. Really powerful software, especially those Powerups. Would recommend this app for anyone looking to optimize their workflow and plan in a team. This is surprising, right? We've had a number of users complain about the Powerups, but Melanie, the Powerups that are available, Melanie still likes them. And I would categorize this as a 5-star review. That's noteworthy of making the team look at and getting the team happy about the product, and also, letting people know that they do appreciate the Powerups that are currently there. So I'm gonna go to my back end, and I'll flag this 5-star review as something that, if the Trello team were to come in and look at all the reviews, I want a little wall showing that, the happiest users. And so we'll flag that one for them. And this is from NB. Maybe that the username stands for Nota Bene. Or I guess it's initials, right? I'm in love with this feature of this app, the features of this app. You can't stop NB's love. 5-star love right there. We'll go to the next one. So we're pulling up a review from Muhammad Fahim, 5 stars. Using Trello for a while now. Project manager I ever used. Hoping for better upgrades in the future. Oh, this is a pretty good review. This is a pretty good 5-star review. I might have to swap. Let's tag this one. Let's tag this one as this user super happy. This is worthy of showing to the development team. Maybe I'll send a note. I'll make a note over here to send a note to all the 5-star reviews to the Trello team to make them happy. I'll flagged 5-star reviews for Trello team to show happy users. Maybe I'll send them this video too, so they can take a look and see my my 5-star analysis in action. So we'll go to the next reviewer. And you'll notice I'm actually going back in time. I'm going sequentially in the IDs of the reviews, but the system that I built for importing these reviews, at least when I did it initially, it did it in reverse chronological order. So the new reviews, should be a little bit more cleaned up. But as a user, you can see the reviews and sort them any way you like. But within my database, they're in reverse chronological order. Therefore, we're going backwards in time. I think once we go about another 100, we get to the present day. So we'll see how many we do in the next 20 minutes. So this is from Darren. It's a 5-star review. The best way to keep my brain clear. I love using the Kanban tools. It helps my Findbox my day by integrating with my calendar too. This is a string of fantastic 5-star reviews. So I'll count that up. Usually you don't see that. Usually you see a little bit more terse 5-star reviews. These are pretty verbose. So this is Saeed Shahirar. Sorry for my pronunciation. I need to improve upon that. But this is a 5-star review from Saeed. And they say, this is the best project and task manager ever, of course, for small to medium businesses. That's a pretty good 5-star review, but not as shining as the previous ones. So Rose Rodent, or Rodent, depending on the pronunciation. This is from number 4th, so we skipped into the future. This is a 2-star review, and so let's read this. They say, no notifications for anything. Sometimes when I log into Trello on the laptop, I get about 12 notifications all at once on my phone. That's not good. but they are random ones. Everything is turned on. Battery optimization is opted out, but can't make it tell me what due or done. With that being the whole point, it's rather pointless. Okay, this is an interesting one, right? So let's parse through this one more time. So the user says no notifications for anything. So you would assume that there's no notifications for this app at all. But sometimes when I log into Trello on the laptop, I get 12 notifications all at once on my phone, but they're random ones. That's very concerning. Everything's turned on, battery optimization is opted out, but they can't make it tell me what's due or done. Man, so this is an interesting trigger point for the notifications, but it sounds like whenever they don't log into the laptop, they just never get notifications. And we've seen some users complain about this. Could be us Android developers love these very aggressive battery optimization managers for some unnamed Android manufacturer handsets. We won't name any names over here, but I'm sure if you're an Android developer, you know what devices we might be referring to. And there's a general label called notifications. Other users have been complaining about this. We haven't seen a user complain about seeing notifications that are logged in or when they log into the laptop, which is an interesting tidbit of information. But the Trello team did lose 3 stars because this user was having some trouble. So let me pop in the back end really fast. Go to this issue. So yeah, we lost 3 stars, and it could be a device issue, being a little bit aggressive in terms of making sure that an application doesn't use any battery. But this user was pretty adamant that they've struggled with this, right? So worthy of looking into. And then the Green-Eyed Guide gave this a 3-star review on November 4th. And the Green-Eyed Guys, and the text is a little wonky over here. I'm gonna actually bring the text size to the just normal state. I probably should have a box or maybe have it larger text regardless, because this text looks pretty small and it's normal size anyway. But I blow it up a little bit for you guys so you can see it a little bit better while I stream. But I'll go back to a larger text size once we read through all this. So this user, the Green-Eyed Guide, says, these boards don't work like Microsoft Project. I was looking for a way to create a set of tasks that I could use as a template. Host meetings, and thanks yous, follow-up email. However, there's no way to set date dependencies between tasks. Task B is always 5 days after task A. Wow, that's an interesting review. So this user is a power user, right? So they've used other software, and you can definitely set dates on here. You can set a due date for something. Yeah, but you can't set a dependency on a date on another date. And I guess I could see, I mean, if they're having some fully automated system for reminders, at that point, I would just probably, maybe there's another way for this user to automate. But Green-Eyed Guide, was familiar with Microsoft Project, which is probably a pretty complex system in comparison to Trello. And then so they say pro, when you copy a board, the tasks are copied. Con, there's no easy to check off the task is done. So this is probably like some crazy request. Maybe there's a Powerups. Maybe there's a Powerup that suits this Microsoft Project request. And that could be the case, right? I don't think Trello would add this to the standard board or the standard implementation, because this seems like a pretty complex feature. And Trello is all about simplicity, right? In comparison to in comparison to something like Microsoft Project, right? But yeah, that could be an interesting area for a power up. And I'd probably put it in there. I'd probably put this under power-ups. And I have two tags here, one for power-ups and one for disable power-ups. I'd have to double check what my issues were for the two. Let me also double check. So power-up support was one. So the user desires more power-ups. And then, okay, disable power-ups. We had a previous issue in the past where a user cannot disable a deprecated power-up. I would say, and to be honest, I don't know what power-ups maybe on Trello desktop do currently support this. Maybe the Butler power-up does support this kind of feature. And I'm going to open up Butler Android. I'm going to open up Butler Trello. So I'm going to open this up in a new tab. You can't see this one right now, but I'm going to read off what does Butler for Trello support, which is, it's built as an automation tool. I haven't used it, but I assume, it has a lot of rules, scheduled commands, due date commands. I assume Butler could help this user out. But maybe the user didn't know about Butler. So I'd probably label this as power-ups if I were to go with my gut. We could get a little bit more fine-grained, but I think this is a power-ups area. Another gut possibility that my gut is thinking about is putting this under the help. We have a help label, but I don't know if there's a current solution for this user, right? At least for Trello for Android. And then the con, there's no easy way to check off tasks as done. So the user tried swiping and tapping. So let's go to a task, and we'll try tapping on it. Tried swiping, can't swipe. And this is the emulator, so not all the gestures are supported. I guess this is the preferred approach, where you tap on a card and then drag it here to archive. I think the user needs help. Need to get my mouse. So used to external mouse. But yeah, so I would tell this as help. And the rationale for there being help, the user didn't know how to do something. They need some help from support. And it also signifies to the product engineering team, hey guys and gals, the user couldn't figure out your interface, right? Maybe, I know that Trello is supposed to be really simple, but maybe there's an even simpler way you can help this user out. And maybe the tapping of the card, swiping's a little harder. Maybe they're an iOS user, they're more used to swiping for deleting things. I don't know. Just something to think about. So this is a 3-star review. We'll give 1 star to each one of these reviews. So that 1 star means that in my little system that I developed, if you were to fix one of these items for the user, you could recover 1 star for the user. And if you were to fix both, you could recover both of the stars that they omitted from leaving you a 3-star review instead of a 5-star review. We'll continue on. We have a couple more minutes. So this is a 4-star review, but this looks like this has been updated for the user. So update, finally. The update added photo attachments. Now it is fully functional and is lessening my daily cussing. Thanks. Original below. I have this on my iPad, which is great, and on my computer, the browser, but this Android app sucks. You can't even attach attachments to cards. Feature is, okay. So we would want to, for this user, we're missing that star, right? So we want to follow up with this user. Are they giving us 4 stars just out of spite? Why is that user giving us Why are we missing that last star? So we have a label called missing stars right here, right? So we'll save that, and we'll say this is something that you want to follow up with the user and figure out why you're missing that last star. So we'll go to the next one. Oh, let me make the font bigger. I never decreased the font from when I made it bigger for the last one. Oh, this is from Brian. And if anybody's curious how I made this website, I used a really cool tool called Retool. I'm a mobile developer by background, and Retool made it really easy to make this type of interface given my more limited skill set in the web design world and front-end web development world. I'm trying to get better every day, but Retool definitely made things a lot faster than if I'd done it all by hand. So this is a 5-star review, incredible, from ZBox. We'll go to the next one. And this is from Nitin Nayak. This is 4 stars from November 3rd. So Nitin says, the description of a card gets deleted automatically, and I've lost a lot of notes because of this. And we've seen other users complain about this before. I would chalk this up, just based off of reading this, into CardState. We've encountered this problem before. But yeah, CardState could be. So I'll go read the description of CardState. I'm second guessing myself here. Because CardState, I'll read the summary that we wrote for CardState a little while back. So let me pull it up in my little back end over here. So looking through. And there's a front end for this as well, but I won't go through the trouble of demoing that too. So save CardState, user's text and card description is lost when phone sleeps. Okay. Yeah, I don't think that's necessarily CardState. In this case, the user doesn't see that little button on the top right. So when you add a card, we've seen other users complain about this. You enter information, like you can press return here, that should add the card. But some users don't know that they can add this information. And let's read that card. So the card gets deleted automatically. The description. So the description. So let's go into the card, edit the description. We'll go in here. If you press return, it's there. Actually, return, it's not there. You have to press the check mark, right? And I would assume, maybe went in here. I'm going to edit this card. I'll go somewhere else. Come back to the app. It's still there. The description was updated. And maybe the phone went to sleep. Not sure how to simulate a phone sleep on this emulator right here. I should know. Under displays. I'm looking at the settings for this emulator. I don't see a place for getting that setting easily, but there's could be a state issue. Yeah, this is a tough one, right? Yeah, so I'm probably incorrect in thinking automatically it's a state issue. User just could need help. They could not know that they need to press the save button. We could add this. We could follow up with the user. We have a more info question. But I would chalk this up to the user needs help. The user doesn't know to press the save button. And I've seen this before too, right? This is not necessarily the most common Android action. So I'll chalk this up to user needs help. I would think this is not a bug. But yeah, sometimes you have to make decisions like that, right? What is a bug? What is not a bug? And just based off of my knowledge of Android and seeing a lot of these app reviews, that'd be my gut. But we could always follow up with the user. In this case, I don't think we need to. Okay, I'll call it there. Thanks for joining me for the past 25 minutes and taking a look at these app reviews. Hopefully you got a sense of how I take a look at how I parse these reviews piece by piece. I'm sure you probably do something very similar if you're in product or engineering. This is super time consuming, and obviously I'm going a little bit slower just talking these out, but I'm sure you face the same difficulties for going slow. Fortunately, this is what I specialize in. I specialize in reading these, and I enjoy reading them. I take my time reading them and doing a thoughtful analysis. But yeah, I would like to hear your feedback. If you watch this video, hit me up and let me know. I'll post my website in the description once this video is done, and you can take a look and see, get in contact with me. Let me know if there's an app that you're interested in, or maybe even your own app, right? And I'll be happy to put this up live and we'll take a look at some of the reviews and show this to everybody and show how I'm breaking apart your app, and would love to hear if you have any ideas for cool tools that you're using. There's a lot of really cool tools out there for doing something that's similar for breaking apart user feedback. There's pros and cons to a lot of them, and so thinking about what you've been using is always helpful. And yeah, look forward to same time, same place, probably about 11:30 a.m. Pacific on Wednesday next week as well. And we'll be looking to do this going into the rest of December. And until next time, take care.